Good afternoon, and thank you all for inviting me here today as your keynote speaker. I would like to thank Tamika Johnson Smith, Power Coordinator for APWU Detroit District area, all the power officers, President Combs, your Executive Vice President, and all of the executive board members, and member Jane Duggan. Thank you all for inviting me here to be your speaker for this great occasion for Women's History Month. The theme that you all have chosen for 2019 is very special to me. It's very important, as well as it should be important to you. The theme: Visionary Women, Champions of Peace and Non-Violence. I love that theme. Thank you again for inviting me. You all are co-laborers of social justice, and you're operating in the spirit of humanity. And I'm grateful to be among you all. I'm grateful to share this space with you, although this is a recorded video. I'm grateful to be with you all, in addition to having this deep and difficult dialogue as we celebrate Women's History Month. I am reading my speech. I want to stay on track. I want to stay on time. If you really love another human being as much as you love yourself, then ask yourself if you have done everything that you can possibly do to make sure that another human being has not suffered through the insurmountable pain of unnecessary and senseless death due to gun violence and violence overall in our society today. I come to you with my authentic heart, my vulnerable and conflicted heart. I come to you with my story of grief that sits inside my story of love. My complicated and complex grief is not a one-way ticket to self-betterment. My choice is to find meaning, growth, and my will to survive in the midst of my tremendous loss. And it's an action. This is a call to action. And I challenge you all to continue your call to action. That's why we are all here celebrating each other. And I'm grateful. This action is my personal sovereignty and self-knowledge as I've learned to carry this. My experiences as a mother, a daughter, a member of my community in Detroit, an educator, a student, a mentor, a mentee, a youth advocate, a caregiver, a grandmother, a conflict manager, and many, many other roles that I classify as my unique assignments has resulted in my commitment in working with all of you and joining you, all of you today by video. My commitment in working with youth and teaching youth how to manage the drivers of conflict resolution, peace, anti-violence, and violence prevention has come to be in the role that I serve at Wayne State University, the Center for Peace and Conflict Studies. My title at the Center for Peace and Conflict Studies at Wayne State is I'm the Community Dispute Resolution Specialist for the Center for Peace and Conflict Studies, Wayne State University, and in the community all over metropolitan Detroit, on a local level, on a state level, on a national level, on a regional level, and on a global level. My daughter, myself, and my entire family are carrying such a painful, complex, and complicated grief. I am the mother of a murdered son. Going on 15 months ago, my only son, my youngest child, Contact, was murdered. My son was shot multiple times, 7 times to be exact. 5 times in the back, once in the arm, and once in the leg, with a semi-automatic 22 caliber AR-15 style rifle while he was at work on October 30th, 2017 in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I birthed my children in Detroit, raised them in Detroit. I'm originally from Detroit. I'm still in Detroit. My kids reside in Colorado Springs. My son was the 26th homicide in Colorado Springs, Colorado in 2017. My only son was 24 years old when he was murdered while he was at work, and the accused murderers are now ages 17 and 24. The reason that I'm not physically there with you all today is because I'm presently in Colorado Springs attending the murder trial of the accused murder suspects of my son's homicide. But I felt that this was very important for me to be with you, even though I'm not there physically, but to join you all by way of video. You know, our collective attention span is really short. And when we talk about what your theme is for the event that you're having today for Women's History Month, we are all here collectively with one another to call out systems of domination and oppression that overwhelms both the external world that we live in and our own consciousness as it relates to the issues and to the indescribable levels of gun violence. That alone is increasing all of our pain and suffering. When we commit and work for justice, it requires enormous morals. It requires enormous ethical consciousness, but most of all, love. Now that love must evolve from just talk to straight up activism. That's why we're here today. Our rallying calls, as we are here today collectively, and our cries to call to action is dedicated towards equality, peace, and a strong belief in all people, in our humanity, a belief that we as people have the ability to transform, reform, and transfigure the world in which we occupy with all of the safeties and the protections that we all deserve. What we need now is to stop living and operating on platforms in our society that breeds greed, that breeds anger, that breeds violence overall. We cannot continue to allow this to exist. In order to counter greed, we need a sense of abundance. And to counter the fear and the trauma that we are all dealing with and that we are all living with, we need hope. And this hope is why we're gathered here at this event today, to celebrate each other, to celebrate women. And to counter violence, we need peace. Now, we gloss over and we push aside and we ignore issues, the darkness, the conflict, and the struggles of conflict that precedes it. We demand a resolution. We demand that we get these gun laws and gun reform done and done now. Now, we want all of the answers and we want these desired solutions. Now, I believe how we react to conflict and violence reveals our core values about our own moral and humane journey. And we all need to take some time and really reflect inwardly. Now, I believe what we need now is a transformational, reformative, and transfiguration of a cultural shift, in addition to all of the other issues of conflict. We all are so hungry for a new cultural narrative that actually matches up and lines up with the reality of all of our lives. Our lives are transformed, reformed, and transfigured together in what we all have in common. And we must find those ways that we all have in common, because we share more similarities than we share differences. We all carry stories of pain, and we all have stories that need to be told. These stories that we all have and that we all carry, these stories need to be acknowledged. That's one of the reasons why I was invited here today. Pain and love must find ways to coexist together. Now, what we need to do, we need to match what's on the inside of all of our hearts and redefine what a happy and what a just ending is. Now, if we're going to change the world in which we occupy, we have to create new and value-based experiences in which we are to live in. We must tell the truth, and we must hold each other accountable. We must hold each other responsible for all of those truths. Our stories, my story, is very painful to hear. It's very hard to hear. My pain, your pain, is incredibly hard to listen to because we are not taught the skills on how to withstand all of the pain that we are carrying, not just internally, but also externally. We all have to learn to stand within ourselves as well as stand with each other and in others. Now, this takes a lot of bravery and courage. Now, being brave is not about overcoming what hurts or turning it into a gift or a purpose. Being brave is having the courage to wake up every day, to wake up every morning, and facing each day when you would rather stop waking up. Being brave is staying present while feeling your own heartbeat. Being brave is having that bold courage, that bold and radical courage, because we are co-laborers in social justice. And I believe we need to operate in faith that we can stand together, even when your whole world has been shattered. Now, what the world needs now and what we need for each other is that we have to bear witness to one another, not just as women, but as human beings. We do not live and operate within this world all by ourselves. We have to bear witness with the ability to care, which is a good thing, and the skills to confront, which may be viewed as bad. But if we combine those two words together, care and front, we combine those words are care front. Now, care fronting, I believe, can provide a unique opportunity, a unique combination of love and truth that is necessary for building human and just relationships. Now, care fronting can be a powerful, powerful skill. It can be a tool. It's genuine and it's authentic. It's a bridge that lifts. It's a bridge that supports. It's a bridge to encourage one another. It's a bridge to just grow. Now, to care is to grow. To care is to welcome. To care is to invite. And to care is to support one another and to support one another's growth. And if we allow that visionary transformation of the crucial facts that we all need, because we all need and we want opportunities, but we have to create those opportunities. We have to create those opportunities for awareness, for education, for insight, for understanding. Now, care fronting requires love. Care fronting unites love. It really does. And the honest truth, with a high regard for the relationship, for each other, for human beings, our humanity. Now, without the possibility of one giving away their power to think, to choose, to act. Now, with that type of honesty, one can love so powerfully. One can be powerfully loving all at the same time. Now, let me repeat that. One can love powerfully and be powerfully loving all at the same time. Now, I did share my story, my grief story, but it's just not about me. I have to wake up every day just to keep going with my commitment to work in anti-violence and to create a peaceful community. It's not just about me. It's not just about you, but rather it's about us collectively. Again, that's why we are here celebrating each other for Women's History Month. We are alone together. In closing, now as a peacemaker, you learn that in order for peace to be restored between people, we must take ownership of the process. Now, taking ownership means taking baby steps, taking steps forward while considering all the risks involved and accept the consequences based on the agreed outcome that we all want for a human and just society. And we know that it's not easy. We know it's complex. We know it's many dynamics. We know that it's a lot. But by the time all this is done, the peace achieved solely belongs to us, to those fully involved in this process, not to the peacemakers such as myself, because I operate as a peacemaker. I operate as a mediator. I operate as a go-between, and I also operate as a neutral third-party intervener. But it's not the peacemakers who assisted. You see, this is about peacemaking as conflict resolution, conflict intervention, conflict management. Peacemaking is a bridge building, and the purpose of that bridge is for that bridge to be walked on by all of us and meeting together. Making peace is often a long, torturous, repetitious, and tedious process requiring all of us to have this great patience if these are the things that we want. Because we can sit here and talk about it, but I sure believe that we have to be about it. Now, that great patience requires a lot of endurance. And I hope, my hope, because that is pretty much what's keeping me going in my tremendous loss, is my hope. But peacemakers are people. It's us. It is us who have developed, who have the desire, and who have the long-range vision, and are able to see the short-term goals. Peacemakers are people of stubborn patience, with a long view of the human connection and the human existence, because we all want to win. We all want each other to grow and prosper on many levels. Now, we need those peacemakers. We need those peacemakers who take that very long view. We need those peacemakers to recognize their own values, others' values that shape decisions that must be lasting values. Now, values that transcends not only one's culture, race, nation, but one's own lifetime, one's own century, and one's own millennium. Because we know we're giving it to the next generation, and the next generation, and the next generation after that. My consciousness is rooted in those values that have such a deep, deep depth and passion for the history of humankind. I am here today, and please excuse, I didn't turn all my sounds and my chimes and my bells off. Please forgive me. But if I turned everything off, then you wouldn't be able to hear what I had to say and what I want to leave behind and what I want to get from you. Because with me being here with you all today is what is so beautiful in my life right now. Because I know that I don't stand alone. I know even though I'm delivering this discussion via media, my heart and my spirit is right in the same room with all of you. And I know you all are with me. And I thank you for that. I stand with all of you in the midst of my community, because you all are my community. And I know I stand in the midst of a community of grievers. And you all are the reasons that I choose to survive. I want to thank you in honor of my son Conte, my youngest baby. The Center for Peace and Conflict Studies at Wayne State University, myself, my daughter, and my entire family, we've created a scholarship in Conte's name. There's information regarding the scholarship. I'm seeking funds, and these funds are not for myself. These funds are being put in a scholarship that's going to continue to educate our young people in anti-violence, in nonviolence, in peace and conflict studies right here at Wayne State University. I did ask Jane to give the handouts about my son's scholarship, donation cards. I will also give you all of the information on how students at Wayne State University can apply to receive an annual scholarship of $2,500 each year if they qualify. We need to continue to educate our young people, and that's what I'm determined to do, and I hope you are determined with me to do it. I thank you all. My grief is love. And this is the only way that I can express to you the love that resides in my heart. Thank you all. God bless you all. Peace.